Story 1. I did something completely stupid and uncalled for when I was 12. So when I was 12, I was taking a shower on a Sunday afternoon. I was just standing in there when the thought came to me, damn, I really want to stick my partner in something. I started looking around the shower for something, and that's when I saw it, a shampoo bottle. I picked it up, unscrewed the lid, and slid my peignoir in there. But then my lil bro started getting excited, therefore started growing. I started to feel pain down there. I was crying from the pain. I managed to calm the little dude down after about 10 minutes of continuous pain. I'm 16 now and have learned my lesson. Needless to say, I am never sticking my Johnson in foreign objects ever again. Story 2. It is time. Despite a beautiful life, I simply can't go on. Self-explanatory. 26. I was blessed with a beautiful life. Well, flawed but mostly beautiful. But despite it being great at times, I have gone through a hell of a lot of pain. And I just can't do this anymore. For the last 3 years I've been holding on. I had a sister that was born 3 years ago, and if it weren't for her, I would already be gone. I told myself and know that I'm only here because I need to take care of my sisters and my mom. But it's all too damn hard and I've hit the bottom. Mentally I'm drained. No one will ever understand how I feel and I don't want them to. I go to work every day and people think I'm so happy, but I want to die. I love my partner so much, yet our relationship also makes me want to die most days. Lol. It's all pointless. So yeah, that's it. Story 3. Waiting for the end to see what happens after this life. Anyone else feel like they're just waiting for life to be over? As long as I, 40-ish am, remember, I have been dealing with depression. It comes and goes but is mostly present. It's like I can't be happy. I have ADHD and know that's part of it. I don't have any real reason to be depressed. I have a wife and kids, nice house, no mortgage, good paying job. I am not always depressed and have moments of happiness. I went through a really tough time in my early 20s when I had very little to be happy about. I always felt like when I accomplished my goals it would put an end to the depression, but it didn't. Life is very predictable and pointless. There is no sense of adventure or anything to look forward to. I have no intention of harming myself. I look back on my life and feel like it has been a constant struggle for me to end up with this emptiness, anxiety and sadness. Now that I have accomplished my life goals, the future just seems like a checklist of things to do accompanied by the deterioration of my body with age. I know many people have it much worse in life than me and am not expecting to get any actionable advice here. I have no intention of getting treatment or talking to a therapist. I am just anonymously venting. I'm mainly just trying to be a halfway decent father and hoping that my kids don't have the same experience I have with these emotions. I'm agnostic, and if there is anything after this life I look forward to seeing what it brings. Story 4. I did something trashy but had not really an other option. Yesterday we have this event where everyone dresses up. Some kind of Halloween but different. It's a local event. Me and my friends had some drinks before we went to the event. On our way to the event I had to pee really bad, but there were no toilets for women-only urinals. The city placed them on the way to the event. At one point I said to my friends I am gonna pee here, in a random not so busy street, because I am not gonna make it. Remember, we were also dressed up for the event. I wore a giraffe onesie that I basically had to take off before I could pee. I took it off and was basically peeing in a random street in only my bra. And to make things worse, a group of people passed by on the other side of the street making comments about me. Why are there not more toilets for women? Story 5. I've been selling my company's paintings without anyone knowing. Throwaway ACC for obvious reasons. I work for a company that uses paintings and other stuff for decorating, like hotels do. I don't even remember how this evolved, but I sell mainly paintings to someone who comes here 2 to 3 days a week from an external company. They're not expensive paintings or anything, but I sell them for about $30 a piece. Sometimes it's other stuff as well, like fancy clocks, etc. Basically, this person sees the painting or whatever it is and lets me know she likes it. Person gives me car keys. I put the painting in a plastic bag and proceed to put it in the trunk of person's car. After that I just replace the painting with another one. Person gives me cash next time we see each other. Not much words are exchanged during this process. Inventory is a big mess and isn't kept track of at all. Paintings, for example, are regularly switched, thrown out or sold by me, ha. Story 6. I don't see eye to eye with my dad at all. I'm looking into moving out as soon as possible. 22 meters here. I grew up with poor divorced parents. My mom sadly passed away when I was 17, and I was forced to move in with my alcoholic, belt-whipping deadbeat father. I attend an accredited online university because I want to get employed in the white-collar corporate private sector after I achieve my bachelor's degree. and the US government as a backup career choice. My dad and I are as dissimilar as North and South Korea. He likes cars and skateboarding and dressing like a gangster and eating the same thing every week. His life is very mundane and monotonous. I like airplanes and trains and nature and photography and world travel and eating a variety of foods every week. I want my life to be very fun and full of exciting adventures. Story 7. After 4 years of quitting, I smoked a cigarette again and I have no regrets. My mental health is the worst it's ever been and I felt like I want to kill myself for days. My dad died, my friend killed himself, and my life is miserable ever since. The last time I felt the urge to KMS, I went to buy a pack of cigarettes and smoked for the first time in 4 years. It was the worst. I felt sick, almost throw up, but it made me relaxed and happy almost. I felt free, and I know I'm not supposed to feel good about this, but it helped me. Fuck my life, honestly. I feel better now. I'm not going to get back to the old habits, but I feel like my mind needed that 5-minute break. 29F. Story 8. I had this suppressed memory come up. It was a very weird experience. This happened about 3 years ago. My friend and her boyfriend convinced my boyfriend and I to go to church camp for the week with them. We were hesitant, but she said it was going to be fun and we agreed. It was an interesting trip to say the least. But I remembered the last night we were there, all the campers came together and we all just hung out and got to stay out super late since it was the last night. I was just sitting in the gym with my boyfriend and this guy walks up to me, a decent amount older, and starts talking and asking me random questions. It was very random. Then he proceeds to look at me and say, "I'm not going to rape you or anything," then just laughs. I was immediately uncomfortable, lots of red flags going off. He proceeds to ask random question. I would scoot away and he would just scoot closer. Something seemed super off about him, but eventually he just walked away. Story 9. I, 39M. I'm simply not a very smart person and I honestly don't know I got this far. I've always wondered how smart I really am for the longest time, but lately I've come to the conclusion that I am dumb. Sure, I did pretty decently at school and graduated from college with a marketing degree, but that's all I can claim for myself. Even with my marketing degree, I never found any work due to the recession to cut my teeth in, so I pivoted into accounting and never looked back. Even so, after all these years, I feel like I've been faking it till I make it. I spent much of my working life as an individual contributor. Then the moment I finally got a managerial role, it ended up going up in flames. Albeit it was in a chaotic and toxic workplace. I still find myself making rookie mistakes at my current job, and it's been little over a year since I started. I would say that I am good at being a copycat and am able to pick up processes quickly enough to get the wheels rolling, but I don't really get deep into the why and how, because I don't have the mental capacity and or time to dig in. As for my personal relations, really communicating and getting to empathize with people has been an ongoing challenge. I'm not much of a big talker, and when I do I often can't find the right words to express myself properly. And a lot of times, I talk before I think, and it's gotten me into trouble with my friends when I fail to read the room. I mean, I have been dealing with anxiety, depression for who knows how long, and had helicopter parents who coddled me even in my young adult years, but I really can't place all my blame on that. Story 10. I lost a 17-year-long friendship over something I did 2 years ago. Hello, Reddit. To preface this, I know what I did was wrong. I do not want you to think I want sympathy for what I did. I would love feedback and your thoughts on this. I, 18F, and my best friend of 17 years, 17F, who we'll call Amanda, have grown up together. We went to the same school up until high school. During high school I began dating a guy during my sophomore year. The guy we'll call Greg. Greg is black, I'm white, and one night while we were on FaceTime, he kept asking me to say the N-word. I resisted, however after a while of goading me on I finally caved. Said it once, apologized while he laughed, never said it again. A short while after, Amanda, who is also black, asked if I had ever said it and I confessed about the time I had said it on FaceTime with Greg. We laughed about it and all seemed well. I have trouble reading how people feel and it didn't seem like I had offended or upset her. She was joking about it with me. After that, we didn't bring it up again. Cut to now, Greg is long gone. Amanda and I are in a friend group. After graduation, I notice how the friend group, besides from a small handful, seemed distant from me. I asked another close friend if I had done something, and she told me that at a hangout I did not attend that the majority, besides the small handful I mentioned earlier, had been shit-talking me. I asked if she knew why and she said honestly she didn't. After the group found out she was the one who had told me I was being shit-talked, she was dropped immediately. The friend group dynamic is important for this. The close friend that had told me about the shit-talking's ex was also in the group. He did not like me. We just didn't get along. I asked around the friend group to see if anyone would tell me what I had done. Amanda finally explained it was because of what I had said on FaceTime, which was over 2 years ago. I was kind of confused because why bring that up now? But I sincerely apologized to Amanda and said how I didn't know it had upset her. I felt horrible. What troubles me is, the ex and Amanda are good friends. He himself threw the N-word around in the past along with other slurs, but that isn't talked about at all. I have talked about this with other friends both in and out of the friend group, and they all say that the reaction wasn't warranted. I know the history of the N-word and I know it could have hurt her without me realizing it, and I agree I shouldn't have said it. It doesn't matter the context. There was no malicious intent behind it, and I only said it because Greg goaded me on. I talked to Amanda a bit between now and when the blow-up happened. I thought we had talked it out, but now I am almost sure she wants nothing to do with me. Can I even be mad even though it was 2 years ago? Is she justified? Give me your thoughts. 11. I kicked my neighbor's front door down by request. At my very first apartment, my neighbors were awful. They were loud, there were multiple fistfights outside, cops were called frequently. One day I came home from work and they were outside with an eviction notice on their door. One was trying to kick the door in, one was on the curb. The one on the curb told me that the lock was changed but all of their stuff was inside. Then asked if I could kick it in. Before this I had never kicked a door down and had always wanted to. I jumped at the opportunity. 2 good kicks and the door flew off the hinges. Only afterwards did I think about how I just helped them break into an apartment they stopped paying for. Story 12. I ran away from my home after my father scolded me. I, 16M, live in a city in India and many of the people know how strict our families are. My father, 48M, is an entrepreneur who is almost away from home every day. I have my finals of grade 10 this week and he had asked me to study for maths. I did not study. My brother, 20M, asked me to show him what I had done. I showed it to him. He went and complained to my father. He scolded me and ordered me to get out of the house. I stood there silently, then my mother, 44M, dragged me out of the door and shut the door. I stood there shocked. I never expected my mother to hate me or have a grudge against me. I stood in front of the door for 2 minutes and decided, I will leave the house and go die. I left. I went for almost 1/2 mile and just then, my brother came and picked me up in his car, but I refused. After pressuring me and brainwashing me, I came back to my house. My mother scolded me and she also said I will be getting kicked out after I got my grade 10 results. I knew it, my parents would do something like that. I decided to take my own life. I messaged 2 of my friends, saying I would end myself, and one of my friend responded by saying you are a man and real men never think of unaliving. I just read his messages. He was scared. He asked me whether I was okay. I replied to him that I was okay. He was relieved. He gave me some tips and asked me to come to his home straight away whenever I was in any problem. That was the last conversation I had. Today morning, I got up and went to the living room. After few minutes, my mother joined. She apologized to me and hugged me. I broke down immediately. My mother said if I didn't study, I would become a failure like my mother's uncle. I listened to her, but I'm still in a dilemma. Am I wrong here? Story 13. I'm in sales and majority of the time, I have no clue what I'm doing. I got into sales a few years ago, 1099, and I took time off and now I'm a salaried sales representative with commissions on top. In the few months I've been in, I started making sales. I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. For context, I work for an MSP, managed service provider, which is a third-party IT company. I have very little guidance into the job. It's a learn as you go, and just recently did we discuss lukewarm goals. I'm involved in so much that I forget tasks and I realized I'm underperforming and the CEO doesn't know. This month has been hectic and I am behind on calls but ahead on certain internal projects. I'm having an imposter syndrome feeling and I don't know how to bring it up to the CEO that I'm underperforming. He's a great guy and when I started struggling in the beginning he just said, "That's part of the process, man. I don't care if you fuck up. It's going to be some time to see an ROI. Just figure it out and we'll get there, and if there's anything I can help with tell me, sit me down, and we'll work together." And he said try to see him as a coach rather than a boss. It's lengthy but I'm anxious, nervous to have this conversation with him. Story 14. 2 college girls added me to a group chat to get to know me. Let me know your honest opinion. I met these girls through an organization through college. I had one conversation to break the ice to get to know one another. Fast forward 3 months later with no communication or outside text conversation. I received a message. I was added to a group chat. As a decent-looking guy, assuming from all the compliments and how frequently I get stopped for my social media or hash. No ego I'm just an introverted guy who is just laid back and chill. I don't talk to a lot of people or even put myself out there to be talked to. I was added to the group chat with two girls because they wanted to get to know me but don't pursue to ask question about me. It feels like we are just communicating through a group conversation IRL. I want to know your thoughts on their end goal. I'm just a curious person. Story 15. I am a 21M, fighting my own inner battles and it's hard. Okay, so to start, I was molested when I was 8 years old by my very own brother. He is 3 years older than me, so for a long time, I didn't mind it. After that, I led a pretty normal teenage life. I had a few crushes, they liked me, I liked them, it was beautiful. I had my first girlfriend when I was 16. I liked her, she loved me, I loved her, but more than that, I loved the feeling of being loved by one of the hottest girls at my school. Everyone kind of looked at me like I was winning. I was that guy at school who was good at both academics and sports, and I was popular among girls my age and even younger ones. Man, I loved validation and attention. But nobody knew about my addiction to pornography. I was exposed to porn very early, maybe around the age of 10. At first, it seemed normal, but as they say, it distorts your preferences over time. Early on, stimulating your dopamine levels a lot makes it hard to get aroused quickly, so I dove into a much darker side of porn. Brutal, weird stuff, like 2 girls 1 cup, old orgies, and bestiality. I know it's messed up, but it is what it is. I knew teenage boys are curious, and some of my friends were going through this too. But what was unusual was that, with all this, I sometimes wanted to feel submissive. Sometimes I wanted to feel like a woman and take it inside me. Looking back, I think maybe it was because I tasted being submissive in sexual contact early on, but at the time, I didn't think much about it. Afterward, it always felt disgusting, like how one feels after masturbation. But things really got messed up when the world was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. We were all locked up at home. Life became more boring than it had ever been before. People started losing their minds, eating disorders, crazy amounts of screen time, gaming all night, and excessive porn consumption. By that time, I had already broken up with my girlfriend. This happened just before the lockdown. I lost interest in her because people around me didn't validate our relationship much, and there were too many options for me. During COVID, suddenly, I lost all my options because everyone else had found their partner, and they knew I wasn't serious about relationships. So, I got very lonely. I even considered paying cam girls. By this point, I had fallen deeper into pornography than ever before. It felt like a drug. I relapsed, but this time harder, and one day, I accidentally came across gay porn. At first, I was disgusted by it and stopped, but slowly, with time, I started watching trans porn. I began fantasizing about dicks, and eventually, I got into watching gay porn. I always fantasized about being submissive and riding a dick, but just after coming, I lost interest and got disgusted by it. This cycle continued, with straight porn most of the time and gay porn mixed in. I finally got into college. COVID was over. During my first year in college, I was talking to a girl who was a friend of my friend. We flirted with each other, I liked talking to her, it was all nice. But then she fell in love with me, and I didn't want that. I just wanted to keep things casual because I knew I could get a better-looking girl. In the first year, girls sort of liked me, but not the ones I liked. They never liked me back. I knew I had lost all my charm from high school. It was easier to pull girls back then, but now it was much harder, and I wasn't in good shape. I was underconfident, so I didn't date anyone. All my friends were single too, so it didn't bother me that much. Then everyone started settling for less and losing their virginity, and I, along with one other guy, was left behind. Everyone started pressuring me. Why don't you lose your virginity? Because I knew if I wanted to, I could lose it. It wouldn't be that hard, but I wasn't that sexual. All I wanted was to get my confidence back and date the prettiest girl to feel loved. But people started questioning my sexuality since it was too late. I was 20 years old, and people who knew me from high school thought I would be the first one to lose it, but no, it wasn't like that. I was left behind, and that started bothering me. I felt pressured, but I didn't want to feel left behind, so I decided to approach girls. But man, it's much harder to get a pretty girl in college. You have to put in a lot of effort, and it was too much work for me because it was hard for me to fall for someone before getting to know them. So, I stopped looking. Then, one day, I came across a girl who had a big crush on me back in high school. I approached her, took her out a few times, and felt good, but I knew my friends wouldn't validate her, so I didn't want a relationship with her. But I got physical with her after a long time. Man, I loved every part of it, but then we made out. Just before sex, she confessed her feelings, and I couldn't do it because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I told her I didn't feel the same way and that it was just casual. She felt sad. Then she asked if we could date, and I said no. But I loved the feeling of being physical with her, taking care of her, and making her feel protected. I'm a big guy, 6 feet tall, muscular now, and I got sperm cramps for the first time because I couldn't fuck her that night. Man, it hurt. But with all the butterflies in my stomach, I was still scared and felt a lot of pressure because I was nervous and questioning a lot about my dick size and getting hard around her. After that night, I suddenly got a random text from a guy who was the receptionist at the hotel where I took the girl. He texted me to ask if I was okay, and then he said he liked me. I quickly blocked him, but this wasn't the first time I had blocked a gay guy. During the COVID lockdowns, when I was bored with porn, I started exploring my fantasy side and began watching cam models, first girls, then guys. They're more responsive, so they talk and reply quickly. I started talking to them in a more submissive tone, sexting, and after my orgasm, I quickly got disgusted, same as with porn. Then, one day, I found out about Grindr. I did the same thing, talk dirty, reach my orgasm, then delete the app. Even when they asked me out, I never went, and I deleted it. This happened once or twice a month, depending on how bored I was. But when I wasn't thinking about it, I didn't think about this side of me or any dicks. I never had a crush on any man, nor could I see myself in a romantic relationship. I didn't think about it much, it was just another way to reach my orgasm. But things changed when I gave it another chance to get laid with a girl. She, too, had a crush on me back in high school. But this time, I didn't like her at all. She wasn't my type, and she was very bold. Plus, she was an active member of the LGBTQ+ community, and I knew she was bisexual. Before this, I had been a very homophobic guy, even though I knew about the darker side of myself. But yeah, she wasn't my type. She came to my city during her holidays, as she was studying in a different city. I thought this would be the best way for me to lose my virginity, knowing she wouldn't mind doing it without feelings. And I was right. We went to a hotel by the beach. It was a long ride when I was driving her, and I didn't feel any excitement like I did with the girl I took before. We went to the room, started kissing, and did things. I kept kissing her for more than 30 minutes, but I didn't know what to do, and she was drunk. I felt clueless. Then she put her hands inside my pants, and I wasn't hard at all. She stopped, looked at me, and asked if I was straight or not. I said, of course, I am. I told her it was just that I wasn't feeling it. Before making out, she told me about her high body count, which made me super anxious, wondering if I could even please her. Then it was one hell of a night. She got drunk, slept, and I was stressed and questioning a lot about my sexuality now. In the morning, I dropped her off. The first thing I did was download Grindr and asked people to meet me because my brain was going crazy, and I just wanted to know if I was straight or not. Then, for the first time, I got on a call with a gay man and went to his home. It was kind of scary because I was afraid to lose my privacy, but he was a sweet guy. I sat with him, we talked, and I didn't feel anything. I was kind of relieved, but he said I should watch Alex Strangelove. A few days passed, and I felt good, but then again, one day, I fantasized about being with a man, being submissive. Again, I started questioning myself, and this time, I downloaded Grindr, talked to other guys, and planned a day to meet one of them. But before that, we sexted, and I lost interest, so I blocked him. After a few days, I unblocked him and forced myself to meet him. I went, and he was a pretty decent-looking guy. I talked about how I ended up here, and he was fruity, and I didn't like that. I hate when a man talks girly. But something inside me wanted to jump into bed with him and explore new things, so I asked him to get into bed. We looked at each other, then I kissed him for the first time, and he made love to me as if I were a girl. I kind of liked it. Then I gave him a blowjob. I didn't like it, nor did I hate it. Then he gave me one, and I came. After that, something just happened, and I quickly got out of bed. I couldn't be with him anymore. I felt disgusted, even though he asked me to stay next to him so he could come. But I just couldn't. Even though I wanted to stay with him, I just couldn't. I felt disgusted. Why the hell am I forcing myself into this situation? Then that guy texted me again, but I didn't reply, nor am I ever going to. I'm still confused about my sexuality because when I accept being gay, it doesn't feel right. Since I get sad about not being able to have a relationship with a woman and get jealous of my friends who are in relationships, I can't even think of having any romantic connection with a man. Even if I try, it just doesn't feel right, not talking through society's perspective, just not for me. I saw a few gay romance movies, but trust me, I had to force myself to watch them, and I didn't feel connected. I show no interest in gay romance. And even if I find a pretty gay boy to talk, I find no interest in it even if I try. Nope. I don't feel any butterflies in me like the way I feel when I talk to a woman, or the way I want to get validation from women when I dress up well to get female validation, or the way I want to take care of my female dates. I don't get that all with men. When I accepted that fact that I am bisexual or gay, I lost the spark in me. I felt like nothing like loser somewhat. I lost all my hunger for my betterment of my career or the way I look or the way I dress. I felt devastated thinking of that I can't get girls in my life anymore. I won't be having a wife, my children and most a beautiful partner for the rest of my life. But whenever I feel straight, all these gay fantasies come to mind, and the feeling of being submissive gets me hard. And just after coming, I feel pretty straight again. Physically and emotionally, I'm into women, but sexually, I'm also into men, not femboys. I like strong, masculine men, but only when I feel low and lonely. I think about this homosexual side of me during those times. When I'm doing well in life, I don't think about being submissive or anything like that. I don't know why this is happening to me. I think maybe it all started because, very early in my life, I was molested and felt submissive, and my body reacted to it differently. Whenever I go through a bad phase, I just want to feel that trauma again. My loss of interest in women is because I know I haven't reached the best version of myself in a long time, and I can't even love myself. I'm stuck with this guilty pleasure of mine, which has done nothing but take control of my life. Honestly, I feel like pornography has played a part in it. I've noticed that I love fantasizing about different types of sexual tension, like gay sex and straight sex, but not the simple stuff, more twisted things. I think excessive pornography has contributed to this. I can't focus on my career. All I think about is, what if I'm gay and in denial? Or, what if I'm straight, but the molestation and pornography have ruined my life? I can't control my sexual urges, and all I want is to find the quickest way to reach orgasm. I feel messed up because I know I have so much potential, but I'm stuck in this loop. I've lost all my confidence now, and I can't look people straight in the eye. When I look at pretty girls, I feel like I can never date them. When I look at guys, I have to force myself to feel something because I don't really feel anything from them. It's just this weird fantasy about dicks that only happens when I'm alone and want to ejaculate. I feel like I'm hysterical. I don't enjoy being with guys in real life, but I can't stop fantasizing about them. I love girls in real life, but I'm losing interest and confidence, and I feel like I can never get one. I'm a guy who loves winning, loves masculinity, and loves to be appreciated and validated. I don't know, but I think I can see myself somewhat in Nate Jacobs' character from Euphoria. I feel like it would be all okay if I was never molested that early in my life, which really screwed my life. Physical and sexual tension at that age really screwed my life. I wish I was protected. Now I can't see myself with any women nor a man. I feel like I have to be all alone forever and my life going to be pretty hard. Signing off.